Alright, athletes, let's be honest. How many of you have actually read your manual? My guess is zero. Being that it's 434 pages long, it is extremely complicated and difficult to read.
Additionally, the NCAA has had a history of unnecessary and complicated rules. On February 1st, 2012, assistant coach Bruce Kittle was punished for sending a congratulatory text message to a student athlete for signing with OU.
That cocaine was medicinal, so check and mate.
And no, we're not talking about medicinal cocaine. Up until 2012, coaches were not allowed to provide cream cheese or other spreads to their athletes.
One of these NCAA rules had effect on the farm a few years ago when Ike's began to offer the Andrew Luck sandwich. According to Part 4 of the student-athlete statement, student athletes are not allowed to use their name or image to promote themselves or products. Because of this, Ike's had to discontinue the sandwich.
Not only are student athletes not allowed to use their image for promotion purposes, but they must stop others from using their image for promotion purposes as well. As of now, the NCAA is the only organization that has full access to an athlete's image.
It would seem to be common sense that someone would have rights to their own name and image, but in order to participate in college athletics, you have to sign this right away. Amazingly, the NCAA's control over student-athlete name and image extends beyond college years. Last year, Electronic Arts paid over $35 million in royalties to NFL players for the value of their names and images in their Pro Football Series video games. College Sports Center video games have similarly made massive profits for the NCAA and its affiliated companies. Current and former athletes depicted in those games didn't get paid a dime. O'Bannon, a former college basketball player, had his likeness used to sell NCAA basketball video games. Even after leaving college, the NCAA wouldn't allow him to have a dime of that money. He is quoted as saying that once you leave the university, one would think that your likeness belongs to you. O'Bannon ended up filing an antitrust lawsuit against the NCAA. After a grueling 5 years, the courts ruled in August of 2014 that the NCAA's rules and bylaws operate as an unreasonable restraint of trade in violation of antitrust law. O'Bannon and other former college athletes are now allowed a fraction of the profits gained from use of their names and images.
While this ruling shows movement in the right direction, it doesn't go far enough in reforming the NCAA image restriction rules imposed on student athletes. Student athletes should always be the owners of their images and names. From the NCAA's perspective, we willingly signed over the rights to our image and name before becoming a college athlete. In reality, we had no choice. For many, college athletics is a necessary stepping stone in their careers, which if they had refused, would have been very detrimental to their future. This lack of proper consent and a confusing rule system combined to create an additional ethical issue.
Tom McMillan discusses the plight of student athletes in his paper, Personal Foul, Unnecessary Restriction of Endorsement and Employment Opportunities for NCAA Athletes. He focuses on the story of Jeremy Bloom, a hypothetical world-class skier who was robbed of endorsement and employment opportunities in order to pursue a college diploma. Athletes shouldn't have to choose between professional athletic success and a college education. McMillan illustrates this point in his paper. Another argument from the NCAA is that they are trying to maintain the sanctity of amateur sports. Although the spirit of the law interpretation is admirable, the reality could not be farther from the truth. The NCAA recently reached a 14-year, nearly $11 billion agreement with CBS and Turner Sports for the TV rights to a 68-team basketball tournament. Additionally, the NCAA had a record $71 million surplus in 2012. Currently, the NCAA's net assets total $627 million. The massive profits being amassed by the NCAA directly contradict the argument for the sanctity of amateur sports.
Scandal in college football tonight over what a college football player is accused of doing during Walter Camp weekend here in Connecticut.
Texas A&M quarterback Johnny Manziel accused of signing sports memorabilia for money. Sports teammates Noah Fins is here now with the latest on how fans are reacting to these accusations.
And that dealer reportedly paid him.
For a period, the NCAA was selling Johnny Manziel merchandise. Whether it was selling Manziel merchandise in bulk, the actual player was being attacked by countless media channels for a couple of paid autographs. Realizing the incredible hypocrisy in this enterprise and fearing public opposition, the NCAA had to quit selling Manziel merchandise. However, hundreds of vendors continued to sell this merchandise and profit off of his success. Due to NCAA rules, Manziel didn't see a dime.
The manner in which the NCAA is handling the ownership of athlete names and images is grossly unjust. Whether the issue is viewed from the ethical, legal, or economic perspectives, the student athletes end up losing. Furthermore, the image bylaw is symbolic of the way the NCAA governs college athletics as a whole: unfair and one-sided.